Hey, welcome to another episode of Bowling Out. I'm here with Matt and Deji. So, yeah, our first one of the season. It's exciting. It's been a good start to the season so far. So, here we go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The first topic today is LeBron James and the LA Lakers, who are off to an auspicious start. They're 2-5 right now. Haven't lost the first 5 games of the season. They at one point had the worst record in the league for the first time in LeBron James's career. They had the first 4 games of the season were the fourth worst shooting percentage in NBA history of any team. So I'm gonna kick it to the floor and see what the guys think. And yeah, let's start with you, Matt. What are your thoughts on the Lakers? How much do they panic, or do you think they're gonna make a trade?
Yeah, the Lakers are in a bit of a pickle right now just because a lot of the sort of moves that they made in the offseason don't look to be paying off exactly how some people may have planned. Like a lot of the pieces that they added, such as Juan Toscano Anderson, Ronnie Walker the fourth, Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones. A lot of these guys are just, with all due respect, just sort of like secondary sort of utility pieces, and they haven't really sort of impacted the roster as much as anticipated, especially because the Lakers tried. They were very intentional about trying to go younger, but
Mm,
what they've really done is they've gone from having older guys who couldn't shoot and defend, and they've substituted them with younger guys who can't shoot really. Um, I would say though their defense has improved. The likes of Patrick Beverly, obviously Darvin Ham coming in, who's known to be a very defensive minded coach. Um,
mm.
but the shooting has been so bad, man. Like they're setting some all time NBA records for bad shooting. Some games they've gone 10 for 40 from three. And obviously, I know that there are obvious culprits in that. Westbrook is obviously the first one that comes to mind, but LeBron himself too has been very bad from three. I think even in the game yesterday that they won against the Pelicans, he was 0 from 7 from three. So he, who is usually sort of that sort of 34 to 36 sort of range from three, he has been shooting really bad as well. Um, in terms of the trade, in the last 2 games that they've won, Westbrook has come off the bench. Whether that's a formula that they think they can sort of proceed with going forward is yet to be seen. I can't see him sort of being satisfied in that role, regardless of if it sort of contributes to team success. Westbrook just has
Yeah.
that sort of mindset that he has to be starting, regardless of whether he
Mm.
wins or not. So whether that is something that Westbrook would be sort of willing to persist with is a whole different thing. But at the same time, the Lakers ownership has sort of made it clear that they are not willing to trade that 2027 and 2029 first round pick because they can't sort of cash in on their future when they made all these moves for LeBron now. So, I at this point I can't see it happening. LeBron and AD are just gonna have to try as much as possible to sort of get this team as far as they can go.
All
Well,
right. Fair enough. Hmm?
mm,
Yeah, Deji. What are your thoughts?
man, they came together the Timberwolves game. They came together. They played
So the one
like
last Friday.
yes, I believe so. The first one that they won, and
Hmm.
not the Pelicans game,
No,
the
so it
first
was
Timberwolves
Sunday
game.
then. Yeah, the
Oh,
last
that
Sunday.
was
That
that
was
was
Sunday.
against the Nuggets. They won the first game. The first one
Mm.
was against the Nuggets.
Against the apologies, the one against the Nuggets. Some confusing
Hmm.
games. I've been watching so many. The ones against the Nuggets, they played like the Lakers team that they want to. They played like the Lakers team that they want to. The ball was moving around. Everyone was shooting well. Westbrook was shooting well in spurts. So it's just they flowed better in that game. Their energy changed. That's how they got over whatever they've been facing since the start of the season that they've been missing and losing all these games. So it's I don't know. They have to find a formula that works. If Westbrook coming off the bench is the one that works for them, who would have thought like Patrick Beverley coming in would be the starting point guard, and then Westbrook could be back in. It's I don't know. It's brought strange, but I do actually think Lonnie Walker is a good pickup because he seems to be fitting. He seems to be fitting well with them, and he just came in as well. So he seems to be doing all right. It seems like a good pickup. So I don't know about them going forward. LeBron has been LeBron. It's really strange. The guy's 30 something and still playing the way he does. It's still strong as an ox. But how long? Because he's playing again. He's playing with AD, and AD being AD, he's already showing signs. He's gonna get injured. It's almost guaranteed he's gonna get injured. He's gonna twinge something because I don't want to call any nicknames. It's kind of rude, but yeah, he's gonna get injured. Who's gonna be able to slide into that role to help and things like that? So I don't know how they can go looking forward because other teams are looking real good. They're real surprises that are doing well at the top of the league right now. So Trailblazers, Cavs, really odd picks that are just doing so well. So we'll see how it goes. But for Lakers going forward, they haven't gelled like they would prefer to. I mean, they keep changing. They keep changing and changing every season. They just change. They're like another team, Brooklyn Nets. They just keep changing. There's no one. I don't know why they broke up. And then there might be something behind the first time that it broke up. That bubble team that won. I don't know why they broke it up, but it hasn't been right since then. So we'll see.
All right, interesting. My thoughts just quickly on this Lakers situation. I'm enjoying it. I've been a hater since the Kobe days. I wouldn't even deny it.
Since EA high.
Yeah, pretty much since I could remember. I mean, I've been coming to the Lakers since maybe the early 2000s. That's a long time, man. So I'm a career hater, but as for the team itself, I didn't think they'll be this bad. I'm pleasantly surprised. I think the two games that they've won, I think they won from pride because I think they just they were literally rock bottom in the league. There's nowhere else to go. They're becoming a laughing stock. I think they're playing the Timberwolves actually, yeah. And fans are chanting "Beat LA" and they were chanting 0-5 before they even lost the game. That's in Minnesota. Ain't like they haven't that chanted in Boston or in Golden State. That's what the Timberwolves who gonna play. Like that's who made the playoffs once since Kevin Garnett left, and now they're shouting 0-5, taunting them. Like LeBron's on Mount Rushmore getting taunted by in Minnesota. He's thinking so I think they hit rock bottom and they had to kind of they had to do something. It's almost like when a doctor, when you go see a doctor and picks up a little hammer and then it taps your knee and then your knee kicks out. So I think it's almost like a little reflex, almost like, or if you see sometimes you see an insect and you kill it in the kitchen, but before it dies, it takes a couple of steps and then it falls. So that's the Lakers for you. So I think they're taking a couple of steps, and I know I don't want to use any nicknames, but I will. AD always dinged, street clothes, Mr. Glass. You can almost set your time to it. The same way the clock just went back to the UK. About an hour.
No, but DZ,
you can set your time to AD getting injured. We all know it's coming. It's just a matter of when is Humpty Dumpty going to fall off the wall.
One of those names is what I was going to call out, but I chose not to.
DZ,
back on.
DZ, to be fair, to AD though, he has sort of persevered a lot in games so far. Like a lot of those injuries he's picked up last season, he would have sort of forfeited them.
Like I said, I think it's pride. I think he's had so much abuse over the years. Like this thing is, he seems to fall every game. I don't know. It's like he doesn't know how to fall or something. I don't know. It's odd. But
he should have taken the lead from Kawhi. Kawhi doesn't care. It doesn't matter. I'm sitting this game out. You guys can do whatever you want, but I'm I heard whatever it is that I heard,
Hmm.
and I'm not risking me for you.
Pretty much. Kawhi is the only
That's what
player I've ever
that's
seen.
Kawhi. Kawhi does what Kawhi feels like, and everyone just kind of goes, "Are you playing today? You good? Oh, okay, cool." And then you're not.
Kawhi's
Oh, damn. All right.
Kawhi's load managing before he gets injured, but yeah, I think it's incredible. Other guys do that when they're injured, and it's like it's almost like he's saying, "Yeah, I'm not injured now, but I might be in the future, or I'm not fully healthy now, but I won't go too hard just in case." I think he made a comment a few years ago when he said, "I want to be able to play my son, if one day." In other words, he's thinking, "Listen, hey, this NBA stuff is cool, but I know you guys are paying me these hundreds of millions, but I ain't risking playing in my child in the backyard by being able to guard him one day." So yeah, but anyway,
Longevity.
so that's the Lakers. It's been an entertaining start to the season. The basketball gods have blessed us. And so long may they continue. Long may they continue. All right, so
Mm.
let's move on to the Brooklyn Nets, who've been making a lot of waves. Like it's been a fun start from them as well. But the Brooklyn, I feel like they're always interesting. There's always so much going on. Kyrie, KD, Ben Simmons. There's just so much going on there. So yeah, so the Brooklyn Nets, they had a tough start of the season as well. I think at one point there were two, and I think there might be 2-5 now, but yeah, they've had a really tough start as well. They've lost a lot of games. They recently fired their coach Steve Nash. Kyrie Irving made
Mm.
some anti-Semitic comments, or that have been perceived as being, and Ben Simmons looks scared to shoot. I think I was looking at Ben Simmons' stat line the other day. I guess the Milwaukee Bucks, and when you look at your credit card, and it shows you those three numbers in the back, like 4, 6, and 8. Those are Ben Simmons numbers. They look like the back of your credit card. That's what the man put it up. So I guess
The
the
security
basketball card.
code. The
Yeah, it looks
security
like the
code.
security card. It does. It looks like the security strip on the back of a bank card. The basketball gods have blessed us. So, so I feel like it feels like it looks like I'm laughing at a man's pain. I'm not. I'm just saying, it's been entertaining so far. So, Deji, I'll let you start this time. What are your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets so far?
It's about the Ben Simmons stuff. It is really, really strange. I mean, like curiously strange to see a basketball player scared to shoot. As in, you see him going on. There was I can't remember what game it was. There was a fast break where he had one or two players in front of him. Usually, you go make ticket and one or foul, and you go to the line. No, he stopped and waited for KD, and then gave it to KD that was running from behind him to dunk the ball. And I'm like, I didn't. He's been doing this almost all his life. So this is his profession and he's scared to shoot the ball. I mean, when it first started, I thought, okay, well, the layup that he chose not to go for when he was with the Sixers, that layup that he chose not to go for and he gave it a pass. I was like, well, maybe he didn't know exactly how far he was under the rim and stuff like that. You can kind of adjust. I was like, okay, cool, that can be it. But it is not. It really isn't. He's blown layups. He's blown floaters where he's at the rim. He's 6'10". He's 6'10". He can. I mean, you. Well, that's. It just really looks like it. That's on him. I mean, it could be an anxiety thing, which I won't know anything about because I'm not playing in front of millions of people. So may not. It may be something wrong with his eyes, but he's really. I mean, even Kyrie like screamed at him. You could hear it, and it was audible. Shoot the ball, Ben. I mean, but he's facing his own demons while he's still on the court, which is, I don't think, the best way to. But hopefully they'll be able to sort that out. Because come the game where he wasn't the point, the ball flowed well and everyone played really good when he wasn't on there. I mean, even when you're watching it, the comment sections are going in. They're like, "This is the best stats he's ever done." Getting off the bench and clapping twice, 2 or 3 times, they counted that as a stat and stuff like that. People were
He
really
seemed
going in,
happy to
and
not be out there, to be honest. He seemed happy. But so
yeah,
keep going.
people, people are just horrible to do. But They're facing that, and they play isolation ball anyway. So as much as I like KD and Kyrie individually, I don't. They know that can't see the Nets doing anything unless they change the way they play their game. They play isolation ball most of the time, and they're using Joe Harris as a 3-and-D guy. I think he gets beat up on the defensive side before he can get a chance to shoot and be the shooter that he is. So they changed his game. When Gerald Allen and Karis LeVert and them boys were there, he had a chance to stay in the pocket, play a little defense, make sure your guy doesn't do too much, but shoot the ball. And he was better then. So he's living off that reputation now, but he's still not shooting so well. But he's coming back from injury as well, so you got to give him a break. And yeah, Kyrie's just being Kyrie. The highlights have been, I mean, man, like you're not allowed to use magic playing basketball. I don't. You can't use witchcraft playing basketball, bro. Someone needs to tell Kyrie that, because what that boy does is insane when he's focused. It's seen him going under the rim, moving backwards, trying to shoot a normal layup, and the guy had him covered. So while going backwards, he flips the ball with his left hand while he's going backwards, and he went in. I'm like, defenders look at his coach like, there's nothing else I could do. I had him covered, but he still made it. So with that kind of talent, and of course KD is just being KD. If you're like 6 and under, he's just shooting. He's just getting up and shooting, and he'll be fine. You can get an and one, but that's about it. So them two playing isolation ball, nothing's gonna happen. I mean, they gave up Brown. They gave up. I mean, who's James Johnson and stuff like that. These are really solid guys that came off the bench at times or played at times that were steady. They would give you at least 10, and they will play defense as well. So they just keep changing, and I don't think it's gonna exactly. And Dinwiddie was happy to play them when Mavs get. Oh, he was all right. Let's go. He was on it. So that kind of ball, the Rockets weren't able to do it. Brooklyn's not going to be able to do it, even with Kyrie and KD, because the whole league has gotten better, and teams are playing like teams. Even, I mean, think about it. The Cavs had change of Mitchell in. They're a whole different team. Sexton is gone, and I think they give it up a couple of picks. And the team has changed. They're playing really well. Garland's going free reign. I mean, the game he came back because he had an injury to his eye and stuff like that. He came back the last game. I mean, with Boston as well. He was going in with Boston, and they beat Boston twice now or so, or once. I don't know, but I know the game went overtime both times. So
yeah, the Cavs look good.
They look really good. My sleeper team, man, the Nuggets. We'll see.
Matt, what are your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets?
I think with the Nets, I just looking at it at face value, the most glaring thing to me is that the best shooters they have are their worst defenders, and their best defenders are their worst shooters. So their best shooters, just like KD and Kyrie aside, probably Mills, Harris, and Seth Curry. But them three are probably their worst defenders, and Kyrie's probably somewhere in there as well. And then their best defenders, obviously, but their best defender is Ben Simmons. Like, he's clearly their best defender. Claxton also sort of tries his best as well. Royce O'Neal, I mean, he's a decent 3-point shooter. I probably don't want him taking too many shots, but if you can give him a wide open 3, he'll make probably 3 out of 6, 3 out of 7. That kind of level. But in regards to Ben Simmons, though, I think the main thing for me is
this guy's loving it.
He has to be the point guard. The team cannot operate any other way. He has to be the point guard. When James Harden joined the team with KD and Kyrie, there was almost like sort of like an unspoken sort of understanding between him and Kyrie that James is going to be the point guard, and I think that has to happen with Ben Simmons as well. Kyrie can't be. He has to play like a two. He can't be sort of hogging the ball like he tends to like to do at times. And even him, Kyrie too, so far hasn't been shooting well from the three either. I'm pretty sure he's shooting under 30% so far. So that I expect that to pick up as the season goes on. In regards to Ben Simmons, again, he doesn't want to shoot. I mean, it's a mentality thing. It's in his head now. But also, I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt that he did miss like how many sort of months of basketball. He's still sort of trying to get even up to like just match shape, game shape. So I'm still going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Before the whole thing about him passing up the shot against the Hawks and the 76ers, he was a 3-time All-Star. He was a 2-time All-NBA first team defense All-NBA. So there is an All-Star in there. There is a 15-point per game score in there. It's just down to him to sort of bring it out again. With the firing of Steve Nash, I think that was inevitable. I read a report where Steve Nash told the general manager that the players just aren't listening to him anymore. And when it gets to that stage, the coaches...
That's it.
And to be fair, the fact that he got hired in the first place already had eyebrows raised, because Steve Nash had no coaching experience. He didn't even have assistant coaching experience before that job. He was that sort of spare shooting coach that teams would hire to sort of tutor,
get your form right and everything
one-on-one. Yeah, so the fact that he even got hired in the first place, I could argue, was malpractice in a way. So I heard they want to get in Ime Udoka. This should be interesting because the Celtics suspended him, right? Because he breached their sort of company
code of conduct.
Code of conduct. But it's interesting they suspended him and they didn't fire him. They suspended him because they understand that he's valuable and they don't want any team to come
to
out
have him.
essentially. So now that the Nets are in a situation where they are desperate for a new coach, would this prompt the Celtics to sort of go against what they sentenced him to, or are they just going to let him go to the Nets? Because I think if he goes to the Nets, that could be a problem.
You think he can change? You think he can change the culture there?
I think he can. He turned the Celtics around last season. The Celtics that we saw at the end of the season weren't the Celtics that we saw this time last
at the beginning.
So,
absolutely.
I believe Ime can make a difference. And plus, he was there before. So
he was the assistant coach there before.
He was the assistant coach.
He was actually.
He's already well acquainted with everything around there. He knows KD and Kyrie very well. So I think if they could secure him, they could be a problem.
It's damn near a new team though.
For paying him.
It's still a damn near new team though.
Yeah,
I think coming back. All the major boys are gone. Go ahead, sorry, Daisy.
That's cool. I think for me, my thoughts on the Nets are it's just shocking because it's like with Ben Simmons, it's like I see him get the ball in the paint, and he won't look at the rim. It's like the way a vampire like responds to light. That's how Ben Simmons responds to the rim. Like no. So it's like it's really strange to see. I think they might need to hire a sports psychologist because I think he's locked in his own head. And I think
he doesn't even face. He doesn't, like you said. He doesn't. I mean, he's right there, and all he's looking for.
Yeah,
it's really strange.
And the thing is, like you said, he's 6'10", and like you figure he can get to the rim if he wants to pretty easily because he's a very athletic guy. So like my thing is just get to the rim. I think he's scared of being fouled and going to the free throw line. But I'm like, how bad can it be? Like even if you go there and you miss, I think Ben Simmons, I think, might be a case of like I think he's a victim maybe of social media because I think he's scared of ending up on YouTube and people laughing at him and at him. I think he might be a really sensitive guy, and I think by him thinking if I don't shoot, I don't go to the free throw line. Then I don't miss, then I don't get mocked online because I don't know what else it would be. Because it's really bizarre, and I think maybe scared of being taunted by the NBA players. I don't know, but it's just strange behavior. And I think as long as he remains in his own head, the Nets will struggle. And I think, like Matt said, that the best defenders are the worst shooters, and vice versa. And as for Steve Nash, for me, he never should have had the job anyway. I mean, he seemed like a really nice guy. Like he's popular with a lot of players. His dad comes from England. He's a Tottenham fan like me, but he's also he's also big in his activism. Is like for George Floyd, he went really hard when that happened. So he seemed like a genuinely nice person. But for me, I think he's the definition of the term white privilege because how else would you get that job basically? Coaching one of the two generational scorers in Brooklyn. You got no coaching experience. It's almost like Trump becoming president. Like you look at it and you're like, how did that happen? So it's just like I think it was just a matter of time. And I think against the Nets loss, against the Celtics, he got out coached by Ime Udoka like significantly. Like you're watching both teams play, and the Nets seem to just be give it to KD, then give it to Kyrie. While the
Isolation ball will never work.
Offense on defense, and they blew them away. So I think Ime would be a big upgrade in Brooklyn if he does come. But yeah, the Nets, I mean, I don't think they'll be this bad. Same as the Lakers. So we'll see how it kind of goes over there. But I think, yeah, people are tuning in to see what Ben Simmons doesn't do now as opposed to what he does do. So it's baffling. Because he's 6'10". Like just go dunk. Like just go finish.
But that's what he was doing before, and that's what he was known for, because he was never known for shooting.
Yeah.
But he would take the shot, miss it or whatever, or make it, whichever way it goes. But he shot the ball.
Yeah.
He actually faced up and shot the ball. If you give him a space, whatever, if he can't get around you, throw a floater, whatever. He would do that. He had the will to do it, and you can see he was given, just go ahead. But since he's been in Brooklyn, I don't understand it. I mean, go up there and miss, like Giannis used to do.
Yeah,
he's getting a little better from the free throw line. He's just like, cool, foul me, it's okay. I'll shoot an air ball from the free throw. It's no worry.
Part of the game. Everybody misses
after we do all that, we're gonna go back to inbounding the ball. Then I'm gonna go in.
Exactly.
That's how Giannis is to look at it. So I don't know what it is. It's something is broken. It literally is. You can see it. And their isolation ball that they playing, I like them both. I love the highlights. They make some crazy shots. It's insane how they can do that. It's not going to win you the championship. Yeah. You're facing you're facing some teams that rarely put the ball down. Warriors play sometimes the ball don't even touch the floor, and it's in the net. The other time they come back for defense. Poole is getting better. Kuminga's getting better. I mean, they people. Man, it's you. There's no way. We mentioned other teams that do something similar. Everyone just shares the ball, plays like a team. Celtics plays like a team would do. You got the guy that was slashing. You got the guys that would shoot. You got people that would play as defenders. You got everyone that would take the foul. People they're ready to give themselves up to take a charge. I mean, that's a whole team doing that. Yeah, you got Tatum and you got Jaylen Brown and stuff like that. They can go and be the superstars when it's needed, as opposed to that is the only thing we have to win.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the Celtics, the Nets, it's interesting to see how it's kind of going. But I mean, it's been a crazy start to the season with them, and it's only going to get more interesting because there seems to be a new story every day over there. But I've been watching the NBA so far, and I think for me, what stood out as well has been what Luka and Giannis have both been doing, and that both have been playing extremely well. Luka looks like he's finally ready to take that MVP step, and Giannis has just been extraordinary.
Giannis has been Giannis.
Yeah, so for me, I don't know, Matt, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on Giannis or Luka, who's had the better start to the NBA so far? And who would you say is your MVP? Who would you say is your MVP pick so far? Could be anyone or those two.
Ooh, I mean, based on how the MVP vote has been voted, and based on how the MVP has been voted for historically, it would just sort of naturally just be Giannis, just because his team is 7-0. Obviously, I think he's averaging like 32, 12, and 5 or something, which is
So no Middleton.
Yeah. But for
Mad.
me, I'm gonna edge it to Luka just because I like Giannis's team has championship pedigree, albeit without their second best player. A lot of those guys were there when they won the championship. Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez,
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday, exactly. So they still have that sort of championship DNA. Whereas Luka is pretty much doing it with guys who are yet to achieve anything in the NBA, who are still striving to achieve something. I know they added Christian Wood, who's been very good off the bench for them.
Yes, he's been solid, man.
But a lot of the starters for Dallas haven't been particularly great. I think they've actually got a lot of production off their bench with the likes of Dinwiddie and Chris Wood. And I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is also coming off the bench as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's back. He's back from injury.
Yeah. So I would edge it to Luka at this moment in time. Even though, like I said, I think you know what? Let me not gloss over Giannis, because I think with the regularity and the consistency at which he's doing what he's doing with it, the sort of sense of familiarity does play a part in it. It's almost like, you see, like, it's just another day in the life of Giannis and the Bucks. But what he's doing is crazy. He is undoubtedly the best player in the league right now. Like, no doubt about it.
Offense, defense, the total. What I like about him is how hard he plays. Like, he looks like he's giving everything, and I think that inspires his teammates as well. Because when you see your best player trying so hard in offense, so hard in defense, you can't help but get inspired. So I think to do this about Middleton as well, like it's just, like he hasn't played the season, I don't think, and it's like the 7-0. Like you think, yeah, the Bucks look good, but yeah, I will come to you in a second. Just want to add one quick thing about Luka. The start that he's made has been only Michael Jordan has made a better start in terms of his average and how many 30-point games he's put up. But then Will Chamberlain, but he played it in another era. So I think he did this in the 60s or the 70s. What Luka's doing is extraordinary, and he looks like he's in shape this year as well to start the season. Like last year, he played himself into shape. This year looks like he's more in shape. And the Mavericks, could you mention all those players? They lead the NBA in scoring at 123 points a night, which is 26 points more than the Lakers, which is extraordinary. To think that they're playing the same sport.
To the Lakers?
No, I'm just saying because the Lakers have got the worst offense points wise.
That boy's turning. It's turning the screw. That's all it's doing. Just let him go. Okay.
I'm just saying.
It's okay. Just let him go.
It's hard. It's hard to think that they're actually playing the same sport. But yeah. So for me personally, I mean, it could be either one. I think it's early days. I'm just gonna admire both. I want to see which other NBA players will rise up. I think it's early. I think Embiid is gonna get going. Harden's went down for a month, so I think Embiid has to step up now.
Can I just add something real quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Also, another thing to sort of add, the trajectory of sort of the way MVP voting has gone in the NBA, a lot of the time comes down to the sort of story behind the person who wins it. And I think that also will probably work against Giannis as well, because he's already won it back to back, and everyone's sort of waiting for Luka to sort of take over the NBA. At this point in time, things are looking more in the favor of Luka, but
it's more. It's more. Yeah, the story. There's more of a story behind Luka than Giannis now, because there was a story behind Giannis before, and now he's won it. Now he's won a championship, so maybe no longer the flavor of the MVP month. Yeah, but yeah, Luka is a bad man. Dude is a bad man.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't play the same style of basketball everyone plays. at the moment. He slows the game down and speeds it up, but there's no rhythm to it. So one time he would go, and because I remember a couple of plays against Ben, because they switched Ben on him when they played with the particular Nets, and they switched him on him. And two times when he was taking the ball in, it was driving in and stopped, pump fake, and pump fake. He bit on it, and then he laid the ball up. Did it a second time as well. So, as a basketball player, oh, that's how it works. Okay, cool. And then about the third time when he went against Ben, he just went up and Ben just stood there. So it looked like he wasn't even playing defense. So that kind of rhythm stuff, he just throws people off. I mean, yeah, other basketball players do it as well. But there is a consistency to his inconsistencies in how he gets shots. So you get the threes, and he shoots it from a weird angle as well. So if you lean in, you're probably gonna foul him because it kind of darts to the side while it's shooting. So you're bound to hit him if you're gonna contest. The only thing you can do is just put your hand up, which is nothing. He's 6'7", but yeah, it's fine. And especially if you're a guard as well, it's fine. He'll make that shot. Don't worry about it. Or you get a shot off. So it's really strange, and even his handles as well. His handles is what he might do. Yeah, he's what he might do and might not do. It's really strange the way I'm explaining it, but it's better in my head or whatever. Hope it comes out better than trying to explain it, because he missed steps and times and stuff like that. That's how it gets to people, and his footwork as well is crazy for point guard. Like, yeah, you've seen some highlights. It's dope. And Giannis is
your Nigerian brother.
Yes, sir. Think a bigger Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Actually,
just think of a bigger Russell Westbrook.
That's a good point. Actually, I never thought about it like that. It's true.
He's a bigger Westbrook with a little more tenacity. If you can imagine that, because Westbrook is all. Yeah, Westbrook could be losing by 20 points. If he makes 1 point in your face, it's baby rocking, see you, bye. My guy, you 20 points down, relax. But think of Giannis as a bigger Westbrook. That is all in. He's all in. You're playing defense, I'm there. We're playing offense, I'm there. You give me a line to shoot, I may not be the best, but I'm shooting. I'm going to get a foul, I'm there. He's all in. Once he crosses that line, is all in.
Yeah, I think Giannis
same way people used to describe Westbrook. You say, even if my mama was there, I'll cross her. Yeah, but Giannis is walking that walk.
He seems to me like he plays every game like it's his last. Like he's thinking this is an opportunity. Like he's still back in Greece, selling stuff on the streets, and it's like he wakes up and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna give everything I have on this play, on this game, and I love that attitude. And for me, what matters about the storylines is rings true with Luka, because I think Luka is on the way up. He's ascending. He's had really good moments in the playoffs, like when he hit the shots 2 years ago against the Clippers, and then I think they lost the series, but I think he had to hit a game winner that was insane. And then last year against the Phoenix Suns, when they're losing, I think they lost the first 2 games in Phoenix. And they're leaving the court, and Luka's saying, like the Suns are chirping, and Luka's like, everybody acts tough when they up. Everybody acts tough when they up. And then he came back in Phoenix, and basically, just took him apart. And for me, the level of belief that he has, it's interesting to see how far it can take him. But yeah, it's early days, but both guys clearly have come ready to play. So it's going to be an exciting season. It's been a great start so far, and I'm excited to see kind of how it goes, to be honest with you. The Warriors are struggling a little bit, but it's early days. The biggest champions, they've earned the right to to take their time. The Knicks look better than I thought they would.
Yeah, old boy joining them it is worked out for him as well. I can't remember. He left the Mavs to go there.
The point guard. Bronson.
Yeah,
Orlando, the number one
Jalen
pick.
Bronson.
He looks really good in Orlando. There's a lot to really watch this season. You're watching
Yeah,
the returning players in Denver. Paul George is back. It's gonna be a fun year. I'm looking forward to it, man.
yeah. I like Denver. I like what they do. Hopefully Murray gets, you know, back into a rhythm and how it was. Um, Michael Porter, he's doing well as well. I
Mm,
think he went up with an injury as well. I don't know if he's back, but yeah, it's fine. Bruce Brown is doing well. I mean, I think KCP is there as well.
mm,
They're yeah they I like their style of basketball as well. They're very sharing the ball kind.
mm.
And Aaron and I don't know. People think
Your
Aaron
team.
Gordon is like a role. Yeah, I don't think Aaron Gordon's like a role player now, but fantastic one if you ask me. I mean,
Mm. Celtics have
as
started
that
well as well.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
They
it's
they
gonna
just they just carried on from where it was last year. They're like
yeah. Matt, any
just a
highlights for you so
mystery.
far? What would you say has been the best part of the season for you so
Yeah,
far?
I'd say I've got a couple of teams that have surprised me so far. A couple of teams that have concerned me. Celtics. Interesting you mentioned the Celtics. To me, they seem a bit too sort of Jalen and Jason heavy right now. Like when a lot of the games right now, it seems like if Jalen or Jason don't have very good games, there's no one else that can come along that could sort of contribute to help them win. Brogdon off the bench has done okay, but I still don't think he's hit that stride yet. I know that what's his name? Robert Williams has
Is
been
that right?
yeah, he's injured, so they've missed that sort of presence at the rim. But
Mm.
right now, obviously with the whole Ime Udoka thing, they're obviously missing the presence on the touchline as well. The Pelicans, I
Mm.
remember before the season started, I think it was on KD's podcast. Um, the guy that was interviewing him must have asked him like what he thinks about the Pelicans. He was like, yeah, Zion is different. Brandon Ingram is one of his favorite players to watch. Obviously having CJ there for the veteran presence. And I remember KD said he's happy that the Nets are playing them first and not when they hit stride. And ironically, they blew them out in the first game in Brooklyn. The Pelicans, when healthy, in my opinion, they could
Mm.
challenge anyone in the West. Nobody in the West wants to see the Pelicans when healthy, because even without Ingram and Williamson being in and out of the lineup, they've still been able to hold their own. So they're a team that should really be sort of paid attention to.
You have a
Team
good
that
young
surprised
core.
me in the East, the Wizards. Surprisingly, I mean, coming into the season, I just thought they're not going to make the play in. They'll probably be in a lottery team, probably one of those teams that are trying to get the latest French hot prospect who's like 7'4". But
Wembayama.
him, yeah. But Porzingis has done all right, so far. Bill seems
He's healthy.
Bill still seems like he's trying to get his feet under him again. But they've been a little pleasant surprise. And obviously the Warriors, I think obviously it's a mix of sort of championship hangover, sorry. Obviously the Draymond and Paul situation, that
Oh
that
wow.
situation for me, it's not just something that can be sort of washed away like
Brushed
that.
over under the carpet. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just think with Jordan Poole and Wiggins getting paid the way they did, there's no way the Warriors can pay Draymond. There's absolutely no way. I not see it. I mean, I know they're already deep into the luxury tax as it is now, but I don't see them going deeper for Draymond, especially when he's at the latter
He's
stage
doing
of his
this,
career.
and he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, his numbers over the last couple of years has deteriorated, and one of the sort of main sort of things that you could attribute to Draymond was his leadership, but that would have taken a knock because of what happened with Jordan Poole.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
The Warriors are in a bit of a situation. I can see a situation where they trade him before the end of the year, probably.
Mm.
as in the end
I
of the
don't.
season.
That's a big call.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know.
he is. Uh, how do I say this without being Draymond? He is enjoyed being in that kind of environment
Magic
of
carpet
the
ride.
plays that it has, with the kind of plays he's had around him. So magic carpet, with the kind of plays he's had around him, to then be called the leader. So he's taking it on. However, when Charles Barkley says things like, okay, he's got his triple single and stuff like that, and everyone goes, yeah, but he's there for his leadership and whatever. But I'm like, no, but you're on the court still. You should be able to. I mean, it's still for what 6'5" for to be a center and stuff like that. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of heart.
But yeah, but there's more you have to add to, I would have thought that you have to add to it to be called the leader of the team. It's just because, and the only reason he got all those kind of things is because Steph and Clay is just too cool. They're just like relaxed. They just like, no, yeah, let him have it. It's okay. It's cool. Because if
It's
Steph
so laid back.
decides to be, yeah, because if he decides to be anything close, if half to Draymond, you would need Draymond.
Mm.
You
I
won't
mean,
you
for
won't
me,
need Draymond.
the test is if Draymond was playing in Orlando, he wouldn't be an all-star. So he'd never been an all-star. So I think that's like the test. I think he benefited from playing alongside Stephen Clay in their
Most
prime
definitely.
and KD. Those guys, they had about a heck of a run, But
Most definitely.
yes, I think if he was playing in Detroit or in Utah, so I don't think he's who he is in terms of like
In
being
any
an
team
all-star and
where he
whatnot.
just has to play. In any
Yeah.
team where he has to contribute. In this team, he doesn't have to contribute. He can,
Yeah, his
mix
role's
up.
perfect for him.
Yeah,
He's
he
found
can
the
make
best case
stops and stuff
scenario.
like that. That's cool. He's a very good defender. Don't get me wrong. He's dirty, but he's a very good defender, right?
His
And for his height and his size, where he's playing his position, it's very challenging. But he does his thing.
he's
But he would
maximized his
be
talents. Mm,
there. You go. He would be a glorified role player in another team. That's
absolutely.
just what I think. I mean, he's doing his thing, and I'm here. But this is what I think. I'm just throwing opinions out there.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, guys, I think that's it for the week. Let's hope Jermaine's back next week. He's on his travels. And yeah, Madden, Dej, thanks for contributing, thanks for jumping on this week. It's good to be
No
back for the
problem.
new season, and yeah, it's been an interesting start so far. Like I said, there's been a lot to enjoy. So let's hope the basketball gods continue to serve up, some really good food in the
Some
NBA.
really good games. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Lakers, Nets. It's been fun so far. So yeah, let's hope it continues to go like it's been going.
No
All right,
problem.
guys.
No problem.
Have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your week, and yeah, let's catch up with next week, and we'll see what's been happening.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, fellas.
All right,
All
see you
right.
next week.